Well, hello YouTube. I have come to tell you a story today. So my story today is about army service in Germany. I'm not sure if you guys know, but up to, I don't know, I think the last 3 years they got rid of it, but before that Germans were actually drafted for the army. We had to go to the army and we had to do our, well, I don't know, our duty to the Fatherland. Bloody hell. What is he braking for? Oh, we're gonna pass you on the curve. Hi, I passed you on the curve. Thank you. So the story was about a little more than 10 years ago, and I think Germany changed the, I don't know, procedure or rule or whatever. They don't draft people anymore. I hope I'm using the right word. With draft I mean you get a letter and you're told you have to fucking show up tomorrow or you go to prison, which basically happened to me. Not that I went to prison, but I had, yeah, well, I got visitors, let's leave it as that. Now let me start from the beginning, and this is going to be a bit longer vlog, so be prepared for several parts. The main thing is that I moved from North Germany to South Germany, and when you are 18 you start getting the letters from the army, or well, you used to, which means that I started my apprenticeship as a cook with 16 till around 19. Then with 19 I went to South Germany and I lived close to where my uncle lives, but I didn't actually live at his place. I was just registered where he lives, or yeah, well, still lives. So when I was 18 I was still doing my apprenticeship. When you turn 18 the army starts sending mail to men and tells them they have to show up and they have to be enlisted. When I was 18 I could send a letter back and say I'm in an apprenticeship, a contract that I had signed before I turned 18, so they can't pull you out of there. They can't pull you out of university either. So the more average age is around 19-20, I would say, when people get drafted. It starts with 18, but usually the contracts go a bit longer, right? Now this story today is about me and my cousin. I moved to South Germany and I registered at my cousin's place, at my uncle's place, and he had done a different strategy. Whenever he received a letter from the army, he would go visit his grandmother who lived where I was living, like our grandmother, and he would register there. So when the second letter from the army came, his mother would send it back and say he doesn't live here anymore because he's of age, he's an adult. She doesn't need to know where he's living, even though that he's the mother. She's the mother, sorry. And then the army needs to find him. That means they will look all over Germany, but he registered at his grandmother's place, right? And some guy in the city hall will find him, and there's a little mark next to his name saying he hadn't gone to the army yet. So what they will do is they will send a letter to the grandmother, and the grandmother then will call my aunt and my cousin and say, listen guys, I got an army letter again. What he will do then is walk straight back into the city hall where he was living and say, oh, I just moved back here from my aunt, from my grandmother. And the whole process starts again. And you do that about 6-7 times in the stretch of a few years, and then they will lose you. Hopefully. The problem was I registered at his address and our names are very similar. And the army realized that basically there were two boys who were around, I think I was about 20 and my cousin was maybe 22. And yeah, we started getting letters. Come to the army, boys! And I really didn't want to go, right? I was like, oh fuck this shit, this is bullshit. Basically I was caught, right? First of all, the cops show up. And the cops, first of all, the letters show up, and the letters you ignore, and if you don't do what my cousin did and move back and forth, basically then the police show up. But this is the normal police. For now, it's the normal police, which makes a very big difference. The normal police will show up and they will give you this letter again, and all these letters, they are for the same thing. I'm not quite sure how to translate it into English. Basically, this day is a kind of classification day. They do a very thorough health check on you, and you are being put in a certain class, working class, based on your physical ability. If you have anything wrong with you, you will be classed into different classes. For example, you have a bum knee or you wear glasses or something, you're already tainted, you're already shit. It's not that you don't have to go anymore, but you can't go, like you can't be a fighter pilot anymore, for example. They put this rubber stamp on you and basically say you are class 1, 2 or whatever. I forgot the name of the classification, but it doesn't really matter. I was pretty much average, nothing special. And once that happens, then you belong to the army. Once that day, that classification day happens, you belong to the army. And they basically take a lot of your rights away, right? The funny thing is, if you run before that classification day, the police will look for you. If you run after that classification day, the military police will come after you. And they will catch you, and they will put you in prison, and they will give you, like, I don't know, a 6-month sentence or 3-month sentence or something. And at the end of your sentence, that's when you have to start your duty to the fatherland. Which I think it's pretty much bullshit. Well, they got rid of it all, and I don't want to compare any of these army guys to actual soldiers. Please don't get me wrong here. I don't want to compare these fucking idiots with, I don't know, American soldiers that actually show up and, I don't know, pay or get proper money and, I don't know, are part of the army for several years and go through proper training, etc. Now, anyway, let's talk about what my cousin did before we talk about what I did. My cousin, he was in medical school. He finished his university, like this basic university college thingy. I don't know how to translate it. It's kind of difficult because in Germany the school system is different again. So he was like 19, 20-ish, and he started his medical school. Once he did that, he couldn't move anymore, right? He couldn't do the same trick anymore. He couldn't run away anymore. He wanted to become a surgeon. University in Germany, very cheap. So he was trying to become a doctor, and he had already, I think, completed like a year or two, so he didn't want to stop. Plus there's a really long waiting list, and he didn't want to like start again and run. So what he did was he looked up some guy on the internet who had a little company, and this company was basically operating on a loophole. And that loophole is, he would tell people what to do to fail the classification thing that the government did. Basically, you know, as I just said, right? You're being classed into different groups, and I was pretty much average, but he wanted to set it up in a way that the government will fail him. And him failing means he doesn't have to go, which is pretty funny. So this company is actually not illegal. This company is just informing people what will happen if you are, I don't know, such and such. I'm going to talk about the condition in a bit. And it's getting fucking cold. 5 degrees. Oh, leck mich am Arsch. So it's not illegal, but basically it's a school for people to cheat the doctor's appointment. And I found this extremely funny. And it stinks of sulfur here. There's like some hot springs or something. Wow, what a fucking stinky smell. So well, long story short, he spent about a month avoiding the cops. He would like stay out late at night and climb through the back window and hope the cops wouldn't find him. They were like, after over a month, they would check him out, trying to find him. It was funny because once I went to visit my aunt, and then suddenly the cops showed up, and they were like, "Oh, you this and this," and I'm like, "No, it's not me." And then, "Oh, you need to show your passport," and they thought I was my cousin, and I had already kind of started the whole army process, but basically they thought I was him, and they were about to slap handcuffs on, drag me away from there. And I was like, dudes, I am not who you think I am. Which was really funny. And I don't know where I'm going here. Oh, let's keep going here, huh? Ah, yes, I think I remember this road. So yeah, that was really funny. My cousin ended up not taking a shower for 3 weeks, not shaving at all, not cutting his hair. He was this smelly bum in super dirty clothes. He was basically told, if you can prove that you are like manic depressant or bipolar or have some kind of mental sick, then you don't have to go anymore. Which I think is rather funny. If you think now, don't ask, don't tell kind of thing, they don't give a shit. If you go and say, I'm gay, so yeah, congratulations, here's your army boots. They don't care anymore. They will make you go anyway. So he got out of it, yeah, he got out of this whole thing. The really ironic thing is, he was studying to become a doctor, and he had it on his record that he was bipolar, manic depressant, so he didn't have to go to the army. And when I asked him about it, he was like, "Oh, that's doctor-patient confidentiality. They are not allowed to tell anyone, and this will never show up in my record, basically, right?" So, this is like some nice hotel, huh? And I think I should have gone another way. Sorry, moved my head so much. Oh, this guy's fucking annoying me. Can't you go to the side? La 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 la. So that was my cousin's story, and he was pissed at me for basically moving to his place, so he got caught and he had to go through all this trouble. I think his girlfriend was really angry. Yeah, they didn't have sex for like 3 weeks because he wouldn't shower. She was like, "Ah, you're disgusting." So why get out of this at all? Why not just man up and go to the army? The main thing is, for me, you don't have a choice. They make you, or they made you. They changed the rules now. This whole thing is abolished. They don't do it anymore. But it's fucking annoying. Like, was so pissed off at this that I had to go. That they made me go. That they said I had to go. If you go, there are two choices that you have. Basically, these days there are two choices. Choice number one is you show up at the barracks, you become a soldier. That whole program is about 9 months. 9 months meaning, I think, 6 weeks basic training. Then after your basic training, you will be put in a certain position. I don't know, for example, I was a cook, and obviously I would have to go to some kitchen, right? Go to a kitchen, cook food for soldiers. And I heard that cooks don't have it very bad, because actual trained chefs or cooks, they will go to the officers' lounge, like all the little idiots who don't know shit. Wow, this is really pretty. All those little shits who don't know anything, they will cook food for the others, right? If you're a baker or a butcher or something, all of these guys will go to the kitchens. And I don't know, if you're a mechanic, it's pretty obvious where you go. There are some jobs that they don't really know how to classify, but they go like guard duty or whatever. And I think you missed the basic training, 6 weeks, I heard, is somewhat tough, but the actual job, I heard, is not so, wow, super slow. Yeah, it's fucking cold. I'm a bit worried about my tires and about leaning and about snow and ice, and I don't know what I'm doing here. So please, please forgive me. Röttel, röttel, röttel. The funny thing is, most soldiers that I spoke to, they told me that they would fucking steal everything that isn't nailed down. Especially the kitchen guys. They had like these food supplies, 5 kilo coffee bags, potato chips bags, 10 kilo flour bags, and they would just steal everything they can find. One of my colleagues, when I was in my apprenticeship, he stole a whole set of knives. They had these, they had German army printed on them. That was really funny, and he kind of tried to get rid of it. He scratched it off the blade. I heard that guys like mechanics, they would steal tires. Like everybody around the barracks in that village would drive around with army tires. Because, well, as you can imagine, they would sell them, and you know someone who knows someone, and I don't know, chefs would trade food for tires and oil and petrol, and they were stealing everything that wasn't nailed down, because this is not the proper army, right? This is like the small little shitty army place for those 9-month recruits, and those guys who were there already 8 months were looking after the guys who had been there 2 months, like just after the basic training. It was really funny. And they're shitting themselves again in front of me. So people would steal everything that wasn't nailed down. So now, I think there's gonna be a break very soon, and I'm gonna do a second vlog, and then I will talk about what I did, my whole army time, etc. I hope you enjoyed the first video, and I hope you stay tuned for the second one. Yay!